Lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at noon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to koolNews at noon. I am Ashley, filling in for TVH. Mayor John Lapierre suspended the business permit of Jonathan J. Lee Jua, operator of the Next Step fireworks shop, whose stockpile of fireworks exploded on Saturday, killing 5 people and hurting 38 others. Jua had secured a sole proprietorship in selling, dealing, and distributing all types of pyrotechnics in the city. He also owned the old firecracker shop at Florence Street here that caught fire and left 2 people dead on April 9, 2013. The Libet stated that he ordered the suspension of Jua's business permit pending the results of the ongoing probe on the explosion at 4:14 p.m. on Saturday inside a warehouse at Marquez Drive in Barangay Tetuan. The mayor said Chua owned the shop but not the warehouse that exploded. The mayor said sorry about that. The bodies of couple Rolly Liman, age of 38, and his wife Miriam, age of 37, caretakers of the warehouse, along with their 3-year-old son Arden, were recovered from the rubble of the explosion. Those of Julian Ramos, storekeeper of Next Steps Fireworks Shop, and Erica Lacas de Santos, age of 18, and events worker for the Chua family, were found in the compound after the firemen declared fire out at 6:40 p.m. Chua was early reported to be wounded. District Fire Marshal Christopher Morales recommended a total ban on firecrackers, fireworks, and pyrotechnics in the city to prevent another similar incident. But such a ban would have to be covered by a new ordinance as fireworks for entertainment and celebratory purposes were allowed, subject to terms and conditions. Felipe was also expected to issue an executive order mandating the city engineer's office, the police, and barangay officials to inspect all warehouses and storage facilities in the city. Colonel Kimberly Malitas, the city police director, said the ground zero of the explosion remained closed to civilians due to the ongoing clearing operations. She said they found several boxes of pyrotechnics on site. Although these boxes have been drenched, they had to be retrieved and brought to Barangay Buti for proper disposal. People cannot yet return to the area unless everything is clear as a safety and precaution, Molita said, adding that they received 37 more complaints, mostly claiming damages from the warehouse owner. City officials distributed food packs to 40 families living within the periphery of the fireworks blast site. Aside from food packs from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the city government released 10,000 pesos to 5 families whose loved ones died in the incident, according to Maria Soroko Rojas, the city social welfare officer. But there was no official word yet as to who would shoulder the hospitalization of the 38 persons wounded in the blast and were still confined in 4 different hospitals here. The bereaved families of Liman, Ramos, and La Santos are appealing for help with funeral expenses. Marlene Guerrero, sister of Miriam Guerrero Liman, said the family could not afford burial services for her sister, her husband, and their son. The couple who died in the blast left 3 children, aged 18, 5, and 2. The family lives in Shantytown in Barangay Lumpang. Nerissa Ramos, a domestic worker abroad and mother of Jonanin, also pleaded for help to be allowed to visit and mourn for her daughter. Ramos has been working in Saudi Arabia for 5 months now, and all she could afford was a one-way plane trip to Manila. She said her daughter, a nursing student, had been working part-time as a storekeeper for the Chuas before the blast. Incoming Department of Education Chief Sonia Agara expressed confidence that the salaries of public school teachers will increase in the next few years. But he also admitted that the process will not be easy, noting that not only about a million public school educators are asking for a pay raise, but also millions of other employees in government. I am confident in the next few years, hindi ko lang alam kung this year or next year, pero magkakaroon ng pagtaas sa sweldo ng ating teachers, Angara said in an interview over Radio 630. According to him, who has extensive experience as a legislator before being named as the next step head, upgrading the salary of government workers is no joke. So talagang mahirap, Angara emphasized. But I am confident because administration nakaroon ng pataas ng sweldo mga teachers. Ang tingin ko, dito sa loob ng termino ni Pagulong Marcos, makakaroon po tayo ng pagtaas sa sweldo ng mga teachers, Angara emphasized. Angara did disclose that he will look at improving public school teachers' benefits, aside from possibly raising their salaries. Particularly, he is eyeing to fix public school teachers' access to loans. Kasi nakikita ko, for example, yung mga nakukuha nilang mga loan, minsan na tagali sila dyan ng matagal at minsan mataas ang interest. So, pag-aralan natin tapos kausapin natin yung ibang financial institutions ng gobyerno dahil may government service insurance system naman, may land bank, may SB Corp sa Department of Trade and Industry na papag-utang ng mura sa mga negosyante, he explained. So kung wari, meron silang investment, dapat meron din silang access dito at preferential treatment. Yan ang opinion ko, pero ayokong paggunahan dahil wala pa naman pag-usap, pero yun ang isa sa mga plano ko na ayusin natin. Yun kanilang benefits at saka yung access to loans, things like that. Very common yan. Nadi-distract sila sa kanilang pagtuturo dahil na nga busy sila dahil sabi na nga ng Pangulo, meron pagmili ito mga tito, he added. A luxury resort hotel complete with convention and other amenities will soon rise in Bonggao territory to cater to both foreign and local tourists, officials say. Muhammad Omar Baksigan, chairperson of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao BOI, said the further 67.8 peso hotel facility to be put up by the Juan Tampe Resort had just been given the green light by BBOI in a board meeting on Monday. It is one of the big-ticket investment projects approved by the BBOI this year, further increasing the total investments generated in the Barnum to 3.8 billion pesos as of the second quarter of this year, exceeding by as much as 50% the region's 2.6 billion pesos investments target for the entire year. This marks another significant investment in the Barnum, signifying the growing attractiveness of the region as a tourist destination, Basican told the Inquirer on Tuesday. Basican said the BBOI's approval of the project signified the resort's compliance with Barnum's investment requirements and would pave the way for its construction and eventual operation. BBOI is thrilled to welcome the Juan Tampe Resort to the growing roster of tourism establishments in Barnum, Basican said. We look forward to seeing the Juan Tampe Resort flourish and become a major tourist destination, attracting visitors to experience the unique beauty and culture of Tawi-Tawi. According to Basigan, the Bangsamoro region has the potential to become the country's major tourist hub with its pristine natural environment, rich cultural heritage, and the warm hospitality of its people. This investment serves as a positive indicator of investors' confidence in the Barnum and the region's bright future. In May this year, BBOI also approved the 74.4 million peso project of Silang Raranda Mountain Resort in Barangay Awang, Dao Altin Sugat, town of Maguindanao del Norte. The project is expected to generate 45 new jobs. We are thrilled to see the Bangsamoro economy flourish with the continuous influx of investments in the tourism sector, Pagsigan said. Coming up, Philippines can still achieve upper middle income status by 2025 according to NEDA. US Fed officials stress patience on rate cuts minutes. And in international headlines, Canada names first woman to lead military. And Google emissions increased by 48% due to its AI with the tech news. That's next. It's 90 minutes after 12 and welcome back to koolNews. The National Economic and Development Authority remain optimistic that the Philippines will is still likely to achieve upper middle income status by late next year, even after the World Bank classified the Philippines as a lower middle income country. It is quite there because the threshold is $4,500. We need to have that as a minimum to get into the club of upper middle income countries. Social Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said in a flash interview. Balisacan said that this remains possible, citing that the country's gross national income per capita, or the total amount of money earned by a country's people and businesses, only needs to grow by 6.7% this year. Even with per capita, it is very reachable and achievable, he said. In the first quarter, GNI expanded by 9.7%, slower than 11.1% in the last quarter of 2024. The report that was just launched by the World Bank actually proved me, it's consistent with what I was sharing with you, he said. The World Bank has classified the Philippines as a lower middle income country with a GNI per capita of $4,230 in 2023, higher than the $3,950 seen in the previous year. According to its latest classification, countries with a GNI per capita between $1,146 and $4,515 are considered lower middle income countries. Moreover, Balisacan said there is no need to change the country's 6 to 7% economic growth target to be able to achieve the status. The country grew by 5.7% in the first quarter, outdoing most of its neighbors in Southeast Asia due to slower household consumption and government spending. The Marcos administration is eyeing to hit the upper middle income status for the Philippines by next year. However, this will be more difficult as the World Bank increased the upper middle income status threshold between $4,516 and $14,005. This was higher compared to the $4,466 and $13,845 threshold previously. Now for the other business news, members of the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate setting committee said last month that the bank's employment and inflation goals were moving into better balance, with some calling for patience on interest rate cuts, according to minutes of the meeting published Wednesday. The U.S. Central Bank has held interest rates at the two-decade high for almost a year, as it looks to bring inflation down to its long-term 2% target without doing much damage to either the labor market or the broader economy. It has brought inflation back down to an annual rate of below 3%, while growth has remained positive and the unemployment rate has stayed at near record lows. Now, after years of focusing primarily on inflation, Fed officials have turned their attention increasingly to the labor market, which has shown some signs of weakness in recent months despite remaining strong overall. The bank has a dual mandate to tackle both inflation and unemployment. Fed officials said at the rate meeting June 11 and June 12 that they were moving toward better balance between the two, according to the minutes of the meeting. Some participants emphasized the need for patience in allowing the committee's restrictive policies stand to restrain aggregate demand and further moderate inflation pressures, the Fed's minutes show. However, several participants also kept alive the prospect of rate hikes if inflation were to increase, suggesting the U.S. Central Bank is in no hurry to start the process of cutting its key lending rate. We have made quite a bit of progress in bringing inflation back down to our target, while the labor market has remained strong and growth has continued, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said during an event in Portugal on Tuesday. We want that progress to continue, he added. At last month's interest rate decision, the Fed penciled in just one rate cut for this year and said it does not expect inflation to reach 2% until 2026. But futures traders currently believe there is a more than 70% chance that the U.S. Central Bank will start cutting interest rates by mid-September, and see it as much more likely than not that it will make a second cut by the end of the year, according to CME Group data. And now for the international headlines. Canada's Prime Minister announced Wednesday the appointment of Lieutenant General Jenny Carrigan as the first woman to lead the G7 and NATO member nations military. A highly decorated soldier and mother of four children, two of whom served in the Canadian Armed Forces, Carrigan will be promoted to the rank of general and take over from retiring General Wayne Are as Chief of the Defense Staff at the ceremony on July 18. I am confident that as Canada's new Chief of the Defense Staff, she will help Canada be stronger, more secure, and ready to tackle global security challenges, Prime Minister Justin Daru said. At the press conference in Montreal, he added that Carignan takes over the leadership of the military at the pivotal moment marked by complicated geopolitics and increased threats. The Canadian Armed Forces are also grappling with a toxic culture described in the damning 2022 external report as hostile to women and conducive to more serious incidents of sexual harassment and assault. Carignan was tasked over the past 3 years reforming this culture to be more respectful and inclusive, following hundreds of sexual misconduct accusations, including some against top brass. Women make up 16% of the Canadian military, according to government data. Carignan grew up in the mining town of Asbestos, Quebec, as the daughter of a policeman and a teacher. She joined the military in 1986, 3 years before Canada allowed women in combat roles. Training as a combat engineer, a role in which soldiers cleared bombs and erect and destroyed battlefield structures, she rose quickly through the ranks, shadowing preconceptions about women warriors. She went on to become the first woman to lead a Canadian combat unit deployed to Afghanistan, where she narrowly avoided a suicide bomber as well as an improvised explosive device that mangled a vehicle in her convoy. Carignan has also served in Bosnia-Herzegovina and Syria, led NATO's training mission in Iraq from 2019 to 2020, and commanded the 2nd Canadian Division, the military's largest regiment with more than 10,000 troops. And finally, in tech headlines, artificial intelligence is changing the world, but not in the ways you expect. As it improves global technologies, AI has increased Google emissions by a whopping 48% over the previous 5 years. Industry Engineering reported that Google's AI advancements like Gemini consume massive amounts of electricity. The International Energy Agency says their total electricity consumption will double by 2026. That amounts to 1,000 TWh, equivalent to Japan's current electricity demand. Moreover, research firm Semi-Analyst says AI could account for 4.5% of global energy generation by 2030. Educational website PubSci explains more companies worldwide are developing AI products and services. These artificial intelligence programs require data centers to operate them. These data centers require huge amounts of energy to run. The website cited other experts regarding the growing trends, such as Amazon Web Service Vice President of Engineering Phil Vass. He believes a new data center is being built every 3 days. Global IT infrastructure product manufacturer and Connect says a data center's average power consumption has risen to 7 kilowatts. A 2017 Forbes report says US-based data centers in the United States alone used 90 billion kilowatts per hour of electricity that year. That much of energy would require 34 massive coal power plants to generate at least 500 megawatts to meet data center demands. Consequently, this forecast power demand makes it difficult to reduce Google emissions. It won't be easy. Google admitted as it aims for net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Net zero means reducing its carbon footprint to almost nothing by negating emissions with clean energy. The surging demand compels tech firms to explore all energy options. PubSci says some urge governments to postpone retiring fossil field plans to meet their energy needs. On the other hand, Nikkei Asia says more are investing in nuclear power generation and beryllium to satisfy the AI demand. And that is it for Cool News at Noon. As always, you can send a news tip to us with at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with Cool News at 4 p.m. Until then, I am Asmir, and this has been Cool News at Noon. Goodbye for now.